Hi guys. So I'm not going to lie to you. The entire reason that we're staying in Kayonza tonight is simply because this place is called Silent Hill. So many years ago, I was helping my friend Jo to sort out her taxes. She used to keep all of her receipts in this little bag. And at the end of the year, we'd sit down, glass of wine, and go through all the receipts and do the taxes. And I remember that one year pulling out a receipt for a hotel called Silent Hill. And that has lived rent-free in my mind ever since. And I have wanted to find this place and stay for no other reason than, I'm a horror girl, I'm a horror fan. And also I'm a Radha Mitchell fan, so like Pitch Black and Silent Hill, I'm a fan. So, here we are. I'm sorry. I had to get this out of my system. I had to come and see what this place actually looked like. And I think you'll agree, it looks absolutely perfectly normal. It's just, a very, very standard, clean, nice, friendly guest house in Rwanda. And I wasn't sure if I was staying in the right place because on the receipt it said Ramagana. And when you look online, this one says it's in Kayonza. But when I was at the cafe earlier, a lady told me that actually technically this is Ramagana. So I am in exactly the same place that was on the receipt all of those years ago. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, I don't know. If you've done something a bit crazy just because of the name of something or, a little bit of a fan geek out, let me know. And I'll see you in the morning. Hi guys, I made it safe and sound to Kayonza. Pretty uneventful, except for one ambulance that attempted to run me over whilst drumming up business. But I made it without any problems, and I thought I'd just show you around my room. So this is for one person. There's a lovely double bed, some traditional Imigongo art above it. I'm paying 60,000 francs for this, and I will leave the conversion rate below. But it's nice, there's a little desk for writing, bedtime lamps for reading, and importantly a mosquito net, which is always very important to look for. I've got a TV though, I never watch TV, so but it is there if you want it. There's a little cupboard here with some hanging space, and the bathroom is just over here. So very standard bathroom. You've got a shower, it's sort of like a wet room really, toilet, and quite spacious, very nice really. And I shall show you around the rest of the grounds shortly. Actually, I'm just wondering what's behind these curtains. Not very much. Oh, this is cool. They've got a picture book of Rwanda. Oh, very nice. I think they maybe have one of these in every room. This is quite impressive. They've got soap, which you would expect. It's nice, it smells of roses. But you've also got a toothbrush and toothpaste, which is kind of cool. I brought my own, so I won't take it, but it is very cool. Right, so I have just had 5 minutes to relax, and I'm going to hop back on the bike and head down the road, because on the way in, I saw an art gallery that looked like it had a cafe, so I'm going to get some food, something to drink, go and see some art. I've heard that there is a contemporary art space here, but I don't know if that's it or if it's somewhere else. I need to look it up. The only thing I know this town as is somewhere that you pass through on the way to other places, so it's cool. I just don't know what they've got here, and when I tried to look it up online, all of the tourist attractions on TripAdvisor, when you type in Kayonza, all say Kigali things. So I think there was one art gallery and then everything else were attractions in Kigali. And I'm thinking, well, this is miles away from Kigali. So maybe it is that there is not a lot to do here. But there is an art gallery, so let's go and try and find it, and I need something to eat. I'm really hungry actually. Oh, that was so nice. I just had a knock on the door and a gentleman came and gave me water, which is really sweet. He was also going to bring a fan, and although I'm a little bit warm at the moment, I've been in Rwanda for so long that I don't really need air conditioning, but there are fans available if you want them, so that's really nice. I'm just emptying out my bag of everything I don't need. I'm going to go light, and yeah, it's been actually really okay driving with all my luggage on the back. And also I did opt for the bigger helmet, and I'm so glad that I did. It's actually not been half as bad as I was afraid it might be, because I thought it was going to be really heavy and hurt my neck. It's actually been fine, and the music system that I installed is absolutely amazing. I've just been driving down the road, listening to some road classics, and also my cousin Sally, who's a brilliant musician. I've been listening to her whilst I drive around Rwanda, so that's very cool. Right, let's get out of here. This is the Bashana complex. They have a cafe and local farmer's shop. There's a nice seating area with lots of books. And you can pick up fresh produce and snacks like Winner's Crisps, Gorilla Coffee and tea. There's also cold drinks and a fresh fruit and veg section. And around the corner I found some pretty cool old photographs of Intori dancers, and this one of a very young President Kagame with Nelson Mandela. This is the cafe, and they have a selection of really affordable pastries and snacks. I'm just going to pull up a seat outside and peruse the menu. The cocktail list is making me wish I wasn't driving. Okay, so the art gallery is actually somewhere that I've been before. It's called Imigongo, named after the traditional artwork in Rwanda. And when I say that people pass through Kayonza on their way to other places, so they're on their way to Akagera, or they're on their way, I don't know, south. And Imigongo Art Centre is where everybody stops off. But when I saw the image, it looked like it was sort of an outside space. I've never seen that part of it, but there is an art gallery behind me, so I'm just going to have something to eat and drink, and then we'll go and have a little look at that. So I've just ordered iced African tea. So African tea is basically very, very milky tea that has tea masala, so spices in it, sort of cardamom, ginger, and usually it's served hot. I've never had it iced before, but I think it's going to be delicious. It's usually very sugary, very sweet, very milky, and a little bit spicy. Oh, that's good. That's really nice. It's just, yeah, it's a hot day today. This is perfect. It's very gingery, but not overpowering. You know, it's sort of a gentle ginger flavor, milky tea. It's really good. I just ordered the ham wrap, and it looks amazing. The food here has always been really, really good. I think because a lot of people pass through on their way to Akagera. So they've really figured out how to make good food. Just next door, we've got the art gallery. This is really interesting. There's a free vehicle e-charging station out in the middle of Kayonza in Eastern Province. That's pretty cool. I wonder how many people use it. This is Imigongo Art Centre, where you can buy works by Rwandan artists. There's also a collection of Congolese masks. I think most of these are based on Luba Kifwebe masks. There's some really traditional stuff, alongside a couple of contemporary pieces. Like this piece, called Purity, by René Eunice Irakoze. And this one, which reminds me a bit of Coraline. I'm really loving this piece. It's incredibly vibrant. And this rhinoceros, which is actually made out of gitenge, traditional African fabric. These ones are quite impressive. I love this painting of traditional dance by Inyambo. Yours for $2,500. This is called Father and Son Duties by Bonifils Ngabonziza. He's got quite a few pieces on display, and his style really stands out. It sounds weird, but it reminds me of a Chinese finger trap, the way the pattern of the paint hatches together. This is bright and colourful. Sunday Morning by Josh G. And a couple more by Ngabonziza. This second one is called Evening Duties and has some beautiful gold detail. Loving these bright, colourful ones. And this one of two men playing Igisoro, a traditional Mancala game. This one also caught my eye, by Bunto Muvunyi. It's called Lake Kivu Horizon. Like Ngabonziza, he has a style that just stands out. All of these paintings say acrylics or mixed media, but this one looks more like an oil painting. Another by Ngabonziza. I love his impressionist take on everyday life. This is a bustling market, with people taking a cheeky sip of beer from a calabash. I also like this traditional style of painting, with the flowing shapes and colour. I'll link to the gallery below. They also ship internationally. Next door, there's a craft shop. Handmade soap from Kandaka. Lots of woven baskets. And even Christmas decorations. You can even buy an army of gorillas and take over the world. There's some Imigongo in the back room. This is very traditional Rwandan artwork made from cow dung. And here's the Igisoro game we saw in the painting. If you'd like to learn how to play it, I did a video about that. It's really good fun. An excellent board game for rainy afternoons and quiet evenings. I think this might be bark cloth. And plenty of jewellery made from cow horn and beads. Well, that was a nice afternoon. I believe Bashama also have a guest house across the road. But for now, it's time to head home to Silent Hill. This place has a nice garden and a large marquee for weddings, conferences and events. I also spotted a couple of mango trees along the path. And a small children's play area. I just got back. I think I've just beat the rain. I am going to have a shower because I'm a bit hot and sweaty at the moment. It's been quite a hot day out there. But that was really nice. So Imigongo is like this stopping point where pretty much everybody goes on their way to and from Akagera National Park, which is where you go to see the elephants and the wildlife. It's a safari park. Yeah, and I got chatting to this really nice lady in the craft shop called Guiza, and we were just sort of talking about it, you know, because I was asking, is there anything else to see around here? Because I really love the Imigongo stop. It's really cool. Originally it was just a cafe, and then it was a cafe and it was an art shop, and now it's a cafe and art shop and a craft shop. So it's expanding, it's clearly doing well. It's a really nice place to stop off, but I was just wondering, you know, in Kayonza, is there anything else? And she was kind of like, not really, you know. I mean, you can go to Lake Muhazi, she was saying, and Lake Muhazi is cool. I think that's worth a road trip on its own, because that's a lot more to do, and it's the different direction to the one that we want to go in. So we might come back and do that another day. But yeah, I think I've done all that there is to do in Kayonza today. But yeah, if you know differently, if I've missed something really interesting in Kayonza, let me know below. I've also picked up some snacks for the road from the farmer's shop. I love these. They're just peanut flapjacky things, and they are so yummy. My favourite now, Winner's Pili Pili. I always used to be a salt and vinegar girl, but these ones are winning through at the moment. I bought this mini waffle because I don't know what it is and I'm curious. I'm wondering where it's made. Oh, it's an actual product of Rwanda. So, made in Rwanda. I bought these pineapple biscuits because I've never had a pineapple biscuit before and I'm curious to see what they're like. And some dried banana pieces, which are also produced in Rwanda. So that's cool. That should keep me going for a bit. Oh, something else that's really cool is there's a standard plug here, but just over here, behind the copy of the New Testament, there is indeed a UK plug socket. I've also just discovered it's got USB charging ports as well, which is fairly unusual around these parts. Having a few problems with the shower is I can only get cold water. This was very common back in the day, like every hotel only had cold water, but I don't know, I kind of feel like this place should be a little bit different just because it looks quite modern. So I've tried everything, you know, I've tried like turning the tap either way, I've tried reducing the pressure, I've let it run a really long time and nothing's coming through at the moment. So yeah, it used to be with hotels that if you wanted hot water in the morning, you'd tell reception at night, and then when you woke up, there'd be a bucket of hot water outside your door so that you could have a wash. I don't know, I just kind of thought nowadays that the bigger name hotels would, you know, either have hot water all day or would have converted to those electric showers like the ones I've got at home. So, you know, you just turn it on and you have instant hot water. But, you know, they are a bit expensive. So I guess if you're running a huge hotel, then maybe it makes more sense to have a central boiler. It's been a while. I very, very rarely leave Kigali. I don't know these things anymore, but I do know that I'm quite sweaty and would like to be clean. So I just sent a message to the guy and he replied super quickly. He's on it, he's fixing it. So I've just put some clothes on just in case a maintenance person turns up. But on the upside, there is free Wi-Fi, so I can watch YouTube whilst away. The maintenance guy came out and he checked it and he said that it's a problem with the heater in this room. And he offered to move me into another room, but the problem is I'm not the tidiest person in the world, and when I unpack, I unpack. So basically, all of my stuff is all over the room, and I didn't really feel like packing it up. So he actually suggested giving me 2 keys so that I could use the room next door to shower and come back. And so that was an option, you know, he did suggest that and it was offered. But being ex-BSO and having encountered this many times before, I just asked him to bring me some hot water in a bucket, because that is very, very acceptable to me and it's kind of nostalgic. You know, I haven't done this probably since I stayed at Bethany several years ago in Karonge. So, you know, I quite like a hot bucket bath. I don't like bucket baths at my house because I can never be bothered to heat the water up, but they've brought me hot water. So I'm just gonna have a proper old school bucket bath, and I will be very happy with that. Actually, that was a lovely hot wash. very nostalgic for me. They're going to bring me some more hot water tomorrow morning. I'm just going to call reception when I've woken up and have another one before I go and eat breakfast and get on the road to Racimo. So just to reiterate that today, I mean, it was my choice to take the hot water in the bucket rather than go back and forth between rooms. I felt a bit bad about dirtying up 2 rooms that people would have to clean. But it is worth knowing that if you're travelling in this region, it's not always the case that there won't be hot water, but it is common. If you're here with a luxury travel agency and you're staying at boutique hotels and things like that, you'll be fine. But if you're backpacking or you're travelling on a budget, or if you just want to see sort of the back streets of Rwanda, you know, this does happen, but don't panic. If you end up in a hotel and you turn the shower on and it's only cold water, all you have to do is go and ask the reception to send you a bucket of hot water, and they'll do that. I talked about this as well, like when I was traveling on Ijwe Island in DRC, same thing. You know, over there they don't have hot water or electricity most of the time, so it's a luxury rather than a standard if you get it. But yeah, don't worry about it too much. Just buckle down for a bit of a hot bucket of water wash and take it as part of the experience. But yeah, it is feeling a bit nostalgic right now. It really is. I've stayed in many hotels over the years where this has happened, so that's fine. Just having a little bit of a nibble whilst I'm sitting here. These are the banana flakes, banana chips. Unfortunately, I've had to pop them in the bin because I think they're very, very stale. I'm not sure what happened, but I think maybe the packaging had like a hole in it or a leak or something, because they smell and taste really, really stale, and they're very kind of not crisp and crunchy. They're just a bit unpleasant. I think it's probably the packaging rather than the product, but I don't really know. But I am enjoying these. These are the little panda mini waffles, and they're really cute. They're like little, I don't quite know what to call them, but you know when you buy those little tins with the chocolate sticks in and they have that very, very light waffle around them? This is just the waffle without anything inside it. They're completely hollow, but they're nice. I'm not too sure what the flavour is. I guess slightly vanilla maybe. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying these ones. Cute.